shout out to Black Myth Wukong. It is about to drop here in the next couple of days. I think this upcoming Tuesday, in fact. We'll take a look at the release date and all that stuff, because for a Soulslike, and especially for a new game, I'm pretty intrigued, especially on what I've seen. Now, we've been talking about this game for a little while, the past couple of months, and yeah, I'm as you guys might know, but if you don't, I'll just repeat it for posterity's sake. I'm not a Soulslike, I'm not a Soulslike, I'm not a Souls player, anything like that. Those games, they never really appealed to me. I don't like the aesthetic. Gameplay never really appealed to me. I like the idea of getting really good at a game, but, you know, having to pattern recognize a whole handful of bosses in order to progress a story that doesn't really have compelling characters hasn't really grabbed me in any form or fashion. But this is the first Souls-like, Souls-light game that's really intrigued me. I wasn't drawn in by Stellar Blade at all, and now that we're also a couple months removed from that, who's still talking about that game? But this one right here, from everything that I'm seeing, looks pretty damn good. It's just pretty costly right now, and if it's something that I'm going to be dipping my toes in, I'll probably pick it up by the end of the year, maybe when it's on a sale, but who knows? Maybe this will be a phenomenon, maybe it'll do gangbusters and it won't be going on sale for years. I'm really hoping so, because all of the business strategy, all of the marketing surrounding this, and all of the goodwill that the game has fostered over these past few months, I'm hoping it does phenomenally well. But Black Myth Wukong, release date and time, yeah, let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. Inspired by the Chinese novel, yes, Journey to the West, Black Myth Wukong sees the undertaking role of the Destined One, who is a monkey based upon Sun Wukong. Yeah, so you'll use a staff and magic to take on many enemies you'll face in this Souls-like game. Yeah, basically, if you're unfamiliar with that story, it's basically Dragon Ball. There you go. It's important to keep in mind that Black Myth Wukong will be released on PC and PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series X and X has it delayed. Really requires more optimization. But we've seen Digital Foundry, or at least some of the people that take a look at the frame rate and the fidelity, have looked at how well this thing performs on the old-ass, archaic, out-of-date hardware on the PS5, and this thing is crispy. And not to mention, you know, PC players finding out real quick how well this thing is going to run, and I got to take a look too. But we'll get to that here in short order. If this game's on your wish list, then take a look below to find if Black Myth Wukong's release date and times, which, yeah, in the UK, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan, it all drops on the 20th, and in the United States, North America, really, on the 19th. Okay, so it's going to be on Monday and Tuesday in the Commonwealths. Okay, yeah, no. Makes sense. But yeah, make sure that you know Black Myth Wukong system requirements if you're playing on PC, which apparently a lot of people have. This is absolutely crazy. Now, we've been looking at player counts for the likes of Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, Helldivers 2, story on that coming in the very near future if it's not already out at this point. Now that game is cratered. But you have a benchmark tool. Hit 85,000 concurrent players. That's crazy, man. A benchmarking tool. And yes, that's all despite, yes, the media smear campaign against the developers, because to refresh everybody's memory, when we were talking about Black Myth Wukong, first and foremost, they were exposing, yes, the extortion attempt by the lovely Sweet Baby Inc. Black Myth Wukong developer Game Science claims companies like Sweet Baby Inc. are asking the studio for $7 million in guidance fees to fix their game and studio image. Game Science was slammed by IGN for its founders' sexual innuendo and remarks, which they claimed was sexist. The game studio then claims the attacks were made in order to extort the guidance fees, which they refused to pay. The founder of the studio has a controversial style that is that easily gets him in trouble with the wrong think crowd. Yeah, mostly because he's like, we got a story to tell, and now we're not going to make it woke for all of you race hustlers. So, you know what? Hey, if you're going to try to extort us, there's only one way that blackmail works, is if we capitulate. Otherwise, we're just going to make you look stupid. They did that in June, and now that we're coming up on the release, well, we're starting to see some reviews. And maybe by the time this video goes live, more reviews are going to be out there, and it'll be very interesting to see the mainstream narrative, because when it comes to individual people, if they know about this game, they're pretty hyped about it. Okay, so I'm anticipating this game doing exceedingly well. That's just not me hoping. But when it comes to the review class, well, we've got a leaked review from IGN Japan. It looks like Rebecca Valenti, huh? That name also seems familiar. And IGN giving a game a 5 when they're notorious for rating average games at 7. Like, what's the IGN mean? IGN meme. Too much water, 7.8. They definitely fostered that overall games journalist climate that mid games are 7, good games are 8, and 6 and below is unplayable trash. So for there to be a 5 out there, kind of doubt it. I kind of doubt it, especially based on the gameplay that we've seen, and because we also know that you've been looped in and that you guys have been at the forefront of smearing this game. IGN review of Wukong leaked, supposedly. Supposedly someone in China got mad and leaked the upcoming IGN review of Black Myth Wukong, which might be out by the time that you guys see this video. Okay, I'm recording it a couple of days back, Thursday night to be specific. So while this seems incredibly plausible, well, it might be 1000% incorrect, or they could be changing in real time. We'll be talking about that if and when that does happen. Rebecca Valenti is the IGN reporter who originally wrote the much-cited hit piece on Wukong's devs. That's where it's like, could this just be simply too good to be true? Could this be everything that Game Science was talking about back in June come to fruition, where SBI tries to leverage the weight of games journos against a project if they don't capitulate? Is that what we're seeing here? Would they be that bold? Yes, of course they would. So that's why there does seem to be some credibility here. Yes, Game Science using mistranslated and out of context quotes, which we went over before. Check the other videos if you're so inclined. Her debunked article was quoted as a factual basis for dozens of hit pieces on Game Science, as the devs claimed that they were being extorted for millions and millions of dollars to be forced to hire woke consultants to fix their image or else. File this under rumor, but we will see in a couple of days if this was a true leak. Yeah, and I'll be very interested to see what the rest of the media, what the Kotakus of the world are going to run, if Alyssa Mercante is going to be in control of that review and how she spins Wukong as a allegory for her own trials and tribulations of online misogyny, or what IGN's official review looks like, because obviously this is just a screenshot, this is just a rumor circulating, but as of right now there are people actually excited about this game, and I don't think a broke-ass IGN review is going to do a damn thing to stop this game's momentum. Black Myth Wukong's benchmark tool hit over 85,277 concurrent peak players in the 2 days since it released, despite numerous media smears against the game's developer Game Science. The official Black Myth Wukong account on X announced the benchmark tool went live on Steam on August 12th. It wrote, "Prepare yourself. It's almost time to start your adventure. The Black Myth Wukong benchmarking tool is now available for free on Steam. This tool allows you to preliminarily check your PC's hardware performance and system compatibility to run the game. You can customize benchmark settings to preview game visuals and performance under different graphics options," which, yeah, I've been very intrigued by this game, mostly because, god damn, man, it looks good. Oh my god, the particle effects, just the textures itself, and then of course hearing how well optimized this is even on an old PS5. I mean, ooh buddy, I might be downloading this benchmarking tool just to take a look at how good it looks. It is separate from the game itself, and it is non-playable. Yeah, so it's not a demo, it is just simply a tool. It is an application, but yet 85,000 people decided to check it out to support the developer. Your benchmark results can assist in the development, and better identifying potential software and hardware compatibility issues at the official game launch. This will facilitate further assessment of potential performance risks and sporadic issues, ultimately enhancing the final release quality of Black Myth Wukong. So yeah, it's taken, and obviously you'd have to sign up for this, it's taking the information and it's sending it back to Game Science so that they could do even more optimization in future patches, or probably a day one patch, because it is a modern game after all, but you know, for the best possible reasons. According to SteamDB, the benchmark tool had a peak concurrent of 85,277 players. In fact, in the past 24 hours, the peak is still 18,255, which is absolutely bonkers. And as we have it right here, who's checking it out? 8,000 people at time of recording in what could end up being the dead of night in most places, okay? That's what we're dealing with here. That is crazy, man. Not only has the game had a ton of interest in the benchmarking tool, hitting over 85,000 concurrents, it is the #1 most wishlisted game on Steam. It also has over 623,973 followers. That is dwarfing Hollow Knight Silksong. It is doubling its following, and that's the #2. Wow. Wow. These numbers come in the wake of numerous media outlets running a smear campaign against game developers, accusing them of the sexism. The accusations were first levied by Rebecca Valenti and Ki Hu Chan at IGN. Several posts have surfaced from Chinese social media site Weibo, written by individuals from the studio. They contain multiple references to genitalia and sexual. Oh my god, this is so terrible. This was coupled by recruitment posters by the studio produced in 2015, which featured images and headlines that point to a culture of ingrained sexism at Game Science. Oh no, a based developer. Why do you think so many people are wanting this game to succeed, especially in the landscape of modern gaming? Like I said, man, I hope this game sells all of the copies. I hope it becomes the biggest game of 2024, because just about every other game this year has thoroughly disappointed. Whether in gameplay, storytelling, or intrusive developers and producers, or when it comes to sales. Still a little bit angry about not enough people checking out Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but with Gamescom coming up and then also a live stream with Naoki Hamaguchi, hopefully we get an announcement of a PC release by the end of the year. A boy can hope and a boy can dream. But it definitely looks like I don't have to lend too many prayers to the success of this game, because if 85,000 people are willing to run a benchmark for it, over 600,000 people are willing to wishlist it, yeah, this game is going to do fine. In fact, it's going to do hell of a lot more than fine. Sucks to suck, IGN. Looks like your extortion attempts have failed, just like your website. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.